Hello, my name is Lisa Liu. Today I'm going to share how to make a Chinese dumplings with you. This is one kind of dumplings very popular, fairly straightforward to make. It's fried Chinese dumplings. In my hometown, it's popular. It's called盒子. As you can see, I have garlic chives. That's what I harvested from my garden this morning. I think it's about 2 pounds. I cut it already, and I pre-made some dough. The recipe for the dough is pretty much like a pizza dough without yeast, because you don't want them to be puffy. And I'll use some eggs, and I'll use some ground pork, and a little bit of dehydrated shrimps to give it extra flavor. You can find this in Chinese market or Asian market. Now let's start. First, I'll fry these eggs. When you fry these eggs, you don't have to make the stove doesn't have to be super hot. It should be medium heat, and then when you fry them, they're easy to break down into smaller pieces, and then you can mix it with the meat. Use some olive oil, warm up your wok or your frying pan. Make sure it's covered with the oil so the eggs won't get stick to the bottom. Put a little bit salt to your eggs. Beat it well. In the meantime, wait till the oil gets warm. And now you can see the oil is warming up. This part is very similar to make an egg omelet, but you stir it. You don't want it to have big chunks. If you like seafood, you can put in a little shrimps, scallops, whatever you like. You can cut them into small pieces, and you can throw it in with the meat. I'll show you how to marinate the meat after I do the eggs. So it doesn't have to be very hot. Up to this stand, it's cooked pretty much. I just turn off the heat and let the eggs cooling down before I mix it with the meat. I'll let it cool down, and in the meantime, I will mix the meat. The ground pork, you can mix it manually with your hands and chopsticks or whatever tools you prefer. But today I'm going to use my mixer because it will save me a lot of elbow grease. When you mix meat, you can, I will put in a little bit soy sauce. Normally you put the ratio of the chives or vegetables with your meat, probably 1:1 or 1:2. That's up to you, whether you're a vegetable person or a meat person. Normally I would put 3 or 4 eggs. And again, that is very flexible. It's up to you. And with a pound or a pound and a half meat, you need to put 2 to 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. I just do it by eyes. Put it enough to give it a flavor. Soy sauce is more for the flavor. I put a light soy sauce. Then the stuffing doesn't turn off to be very dark. And I put some salt because the vegetables need salt. But I put salt into the meat. That way I put the oil, and the oil will wrap up the salt.
Olive oil.
Yeah, olive oil, and that will wrap up the salt, and the salt won't get the water out of the vegetables, and your stuffing doesn't end up with very watery results. I also dash in, you can add in a teaspoon of sesame oil. I just do it by eye. And then that's what it looks like. And I just use the mixer. The mixer is really, really fast. I just put it at the low. And let it mix very well, absorb the flavor. I think I need to put a little bit more salt to it because I have more stuff on the eggs. I'll put in the shrimps. Because I'm making the garlic chive dumplings, so I don't need to put other spices. The chive itself, it has very strong scent. If you put other spices, it will be too much mixture. The chive itself will give you enough flavor to it. Now the meat is mixed. It looks pretty good. Smells pretty good too. If you find the meat is a little bit dry, you can always add a little bit more soy sauce, or you can add a little bit of water as well. Sometimes meat is turning to dry, and if it's too dry, it will be rubbery. So add a little bit of water to make the meat tender. And in the meantime, the eggs are good to go. They are just cooling down. I just add the eggs to the meat. And you mix it more. After they mixed evenly, I'll add vegetables to the bowl. Now the stuffings is pretty much done, and we can start to make the dumplings. And I'm waiting for this to cool down as well. I'll show you how to make the wrapper. You can buy wrapper from the market, or if you cannot find dumpling wrappers, you can also go to the market to buy egg rolls wrappers or spring roll wrappers. And then you cut them to the size you like, and roll them up with the stuffing. That's okay too. I make my own wrappers. This way the texture is better and it's easier, especially during now COVID-19. You don't go shopping too much, so if you have enough supplies at home, you just make your own thing. And we have to learn to be self-dependent. Yeah, self-sufficient.
In the dough, there's no yeast.
Yeah, no yeast.
So it's just what kind of flour?
With this dough today, I put 1 3/4 cup of water. I put 2 cups of white flour, 2 cups of whole wheat flour, 1 cup of corn flour. The reason I put corn flour is to reduce the elasticity of the dough, so it's easy to roll. They won't go back when you roll. I don't always make them very evenly, but that's okay. It's just for our own consumption. It's not for sale. No customer will complain. I'll eat the small one. My husband will eat the big one, so he won't complain. And we will have all the happy customers.
I'm a happy customer. I have no complaints whatsoever. I could live off dumplings. It's a perfect portable food.
And to me, I think dumplings are very nice, healthy food as well. You have vegetables, you have meat, protein, you have the wrapper, which is carb, and you can just balance it to your taste. And now I just set up my frying pan, and I'm ready to roll. So this is my tool, rolling pin. It's very easy. Looks easy anyhow.
Easy for you. You've done thousands and thousands of dumplings.
I don't know whether I did 1,000.
Well, you've been doing it since you're what?
I did it
Since you're 10 years.
200 for sure.
You've been making dumplings for most of your life.
Yeah, that's one of the staples, right? You always, it's easy, it's good, it's a nice treat. And when you learn how to make it, you will enjoy home entertainment. You would like to treat your family and your friends more. You will have more fun. This might be a little bit challenging if you make it the first time, but when you get when you master it, you will enjoy doing it. It's lots of fun. And especially when you finish doing it and enjoy eating it, it's really good. And when you make a batch, like the batch I'm making, it's good for a week. And it's good finger food.